Okay, good afternoon, teachers. Today we're presenting on our Project 1B, and our main focus is on COE and its effects, which our following business questions will be centered around. So we'll be answering questions such as what is the relationship between COE quota and premium, and also which category has the highest increase in COE premium price. So basically a COE guide for dummies. Firstly, what is COE? So COE represents the right to own a vehicle for 5 or 10 years. There are two COE bidding exercises each month. Secondly, how is COE quota calculated? Quota equals to motor vehicle population plus projected deregistrations plus unallocated quota. Thirdly, the categories. So category A consists of vehicles below 1600 cc and 97 kilowatts. Category B vehicles consist of vehicles that are above 1600 cc and 97 kilowatts. Category C vehicles include goods vehicles and buses, whereas Category D include motorcycles and Category E is an open category. So lastly, what is PQP? The PQP is the prevailing quota premium, shortly PQP, so it refers to the amount required to renew the COE after 10 years. So for our first business question, COE and its effects. So what is the overall COE quota trend for all categories from year 2002 to year 2017? So based on figure 1.1, all categories quota are relatively high and peaked between the years 2004 to 2008, whereas they sunk to their lowest points between 2010 and 2014 before rising again. So since there is more quota, this may result in the reducing of premium as there is lesser competition for COE. When the quota increases, more people will have a higher chance to get the quota, thus they're a bit lower with with an easy mind. This is due to the market force, supply and demand of COE.
So for business question 2, for task 3.2, we have come up with a main business question to analyze the trend of the premium price of all categories across the categories. So for question 1, the category, which categories average premium increased the most and why? So based on the premium, category E actually increased the most from 2009 to 2012, and category E has increased the most by 72,699 by comparing the 2009 value, which is 13,302 to the 2012 value, 86,101. So however, in general, all categories have increased through the years as well. So as stated in the government.sg, COE premium varies based on the relation of demand and supply, and COE premium from 2009 onwards may increase due to the external factors such as the economy and also when there's a new vehicle launch. So when the economy is doing well, more people has a greater desire and ability to buy car, which results to the higher demand of COE. And when there is a higher demand for COE, it will cause the COE premium to increase as more people will bid for cars at a higher COE premium. So for the second question, which categories average premium remain constant and decrease the most and why? So based on the figure 1.3, which is category D, actually the motorcycles has remained comparatively constant as compared to the other categories. So category D has increased the least from 2012 here, which is the demand for category D vehicles is actually relatively low and constant throughout the years, and as that's why the premium is also relatively constant. So a few possible reasons to why the demand of the motorcycles is low based on Quora, which is a website that we have researched, is difficult. First of all, it's difficult and risky and tedious to pass the motorcyclist test, and learning motorcyclists have to complete one lesson before moving on to the next one, and also before the 1 year preliminary license expires, the license, if the license expire, they will have to retake the previous lessons. And secondly, potential motorcyclists in Singapore tend to weigh the advantages between owning a motorcycle and simply taking public transport. So most deduce that the latter is much more cheaper and convenient, and hence choose not to own a motorcycle. So for the third question, we have which category has the highest average premium per bid and why. So um category E actually the open bid has the highest average premium per bid throughout the years. So with the latest statistics released by the Land Transport Authority, the LTA, it has been shown that the numbers of cars with engines bigger than 1.6 liter soared by 91% in the last 10 years to 278,601 at end of September. So category E is actually an open category which consists mainly of category B vehicles bids, as can be observed from the graph where the average premium of category B and E are actually similar. So people who wants to bid for category B vehicles will also bid for category E to have a higher chance of getting the COE they bid for. So this will actually lead to a steeper competition for both category B and E, which explains why the average premium per bid is highest for category B and E. So on top of that, the bidders who bid in category A may also partake in the bidding for category E, and which hence contributes to even steeper competition for the category E. And with more competition, the premium is bound to rise, and as such, category E has the highest average premium per bid. That comes as no surprise.
Okay, so for business question 3, um, on task 3.2, the question is you would like to find out which category would have a higher chance of you bidding successfully. So the first sub question of this question is which category has the highest average quota and why? So from this dashboard, you can see that actually category A, if I just show you the entire view, category A has the highest. So let us zoom in on A. So, category A has the highest average quota per bid because the majority of car population in Singapore is actually category A cars. So, with reference to external research, which is in our report, we noticed that the majority of vehicle population are cars, which consists of categories A, B, and E. So, but however, with further research, we can see that category A vehicles are actually the majority of car population, and hence out of these three categories, A, B, and E, category A would get most of the quota allocated to them. Okay, so for the next sub question is which category has the highest number of transactions or bid success, and what is the relationship between the transactions and the category's respective premium? So as you can see right here, across the years, for here, the bid success A has the highest bid success across the years, which is also the highest number of transactions. So let us zoom in on A once again. So bid success is actually affected by the quota, which is right here. And as you can see from this dashboard, they have a rather similar uh, structure. So we can deduce that from this, right? If there's a high quota, the transactions will be relatively high as well. So there is a direct relationship between the quota and the bid success. So the premium price and quota has an inverse relationship, which means that the premium has an inverse relationship with bid success as well. So because quota is the supply, and a higher supply would actually cause a higher supply here will actually cause the price to be lower, which is here, the premium. So the price is also affected by the demand, which is bids received, but it's not shown here, and we'll be talking more about it in the subsequent visualizations. So, with a lower demand, there will also be a lower premium price, and vice versa. With higher demand, there will be a higher premium price. So, although categories C and D, as you can see, they have actually lower premium price as compared to uh, A. We are not comparing them in this case because category C consists of bus and goods carrying vehicles, which are like more applicable to companies and organizations, and category D consists of motorcycles, which has the least demand. So these two categories, uh, they are a very small fraction of people in Singapore. There is a very small fraction of people in Singapore that use these vehicles, and hence we can observe a lower bid success, although they have a low premium as well. Alright, so for the next question, business question 4. Which quota is the best for COE bidding? So from this graph that you can see, quarter 1 actually has the lowest average premium, COE premium at $29,474 for the years between 2002 to 2017. So quarter 1 is the best time to bid for COE as it has the lowest average COE premium among the 4 quarters. However, it is not by a substantial margin. Since COE premium is lowest at quarter 1, it is best for consumers to bid their COE premium at quarter 1 as they will pay less in the event of a successful bid. Also, to add on, it may be because of the festival, like the New Year as well as the upcoming Chinese New Year, and hence there will be a lower price due to more quota allocated by the government.
So for task 3.4, the business question is identify any trends between COE premium and PQP rates and compare the bids received against the PQP rates and weigh the options of securing one's ability to drive by paying the PQP or and hence retaining their license to drive against that of choosing to buy a new car and compete with many others who are also bidding for the COE. Yes. So whether when there is an increase in COE in the current month, it will be reflected in the PQP of the following 3 months, since that particular month where COE increase will be used in the computation of PQP in the next 3 months. The differences in values between COE premium and PQP in any month constantly fluctuates between 1,000 to $15,000. For example, if you look at category B, you can see that the average premium is $48,000 and 48,000 around there, and then but if you look at the PQP is 54,000, so it's like around 10,000. The difference is around 10,000 plus. Yes. Okay. So as such, the owners of the current cars have to consider the viability uh, of continuing on ahead and pay for the PQP, which in turn results in them securing their license to drive with the same car or go ahead and scrap their old car and invest in a new one. But at the same time, join the large pool of bidders who are hoping to get their COE as well. Yes. However, current car owners must note that the competition of the bids is steep when there is a lower quota, which in turn results to the COE price to be higher. As such, if they do decide to buy a new car and bid for COE, they might not be successful, and hence they are risking the chance of not being able to drive for undetermined period of time, on top of having to bear the excessive cost of buying a new car. So for our recommendation, we recommend that for if the current month of PQP is cheaper than the current month of COE premium, then we will recommend you to renew your COE. However, if the current month of COE premium is lower than that of PQP current month, then we would recommend you to buy a new car. Yes.
Now I'll be moving on to the sixth question. So what is the relationship between quota and premium, and why is there such a relationship? So a decrease in quota will result in premium prices increasing, which shows that they have an inverse relationship. This is due to the fact that since there is lesser supply, which is the quota, there is a steeper competition in which only those who bid higher prices will be likely to get their COE, even with the same number of bidders. So the reason for the decrease in quota could be due to the LTA trying to reduce the number of cars on the road to help curb the issue of environmental pollution and traffic congestion, and to also encourage more residents to opt for public transport instead. So the inverse relationship also applies the other way around. An increase in quota will result in a decrease in COE premium price, since supply has increased whilst demand has remained relatively the same. As such, the competition is hence less steep and the bid prices for the COE premium will decrease.
So now I'll be going on to business question 7 for task 3.6. So we would like to find out if there's any relationship between car ownership rate and the price of cars. So for sub question A, from the sample data given below, which country has the lowest car ownership rate? So for this question, we'll be looking at the graph, and from there we can see that out of all countries within the sample data, Singapore has actually the lowest car ownership rate at only 149 cars for every 1,000 people. So for sub question B, we will be questioning why this is so. So we will be using the price of the Toyota Corolla Altis, which as the basis of comparison because it's the most sold car worldwide. So as shown in the graph, there's an inverse relation between the ownership rate of cars and price of cars in their respective countries, with price being the factor that affects ownership rate of cars. When price of cars are high, the country will usually have a lower car ownership rate and vice versa, as can be seen from the graph. So in Singapore's case, since COE is included in the price of cars, it's expected that the price of cars is much more expensive as compared to the other countries in the sample. The high car price also explains why the average car per 1,000 people for Singapore is the lowest, standing at only 149 cars of every 1,000 people. In conclusion, the higher price of cars, the lower the rate of ownership for cars. And with that, we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you.